What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of album number 4 by the heavy metal and hard rock band Halestorm. This one is titled Vicious. Halestorm are a band that I discovered in 2009 after hearing the single I Get Off. I was really impressed with Lizzie Hale's vocal range and also the guitar playing on the track and the ability to take something so sexual but also not just make it about desire. You find yourself focusing on the vocal talent and the talent of the backing band. Now, over the years, they've gone through some evolutions. I find their 2012 release, The Strange Case Of, which features singles like Love Bites, So Do I, which won a Grammy. I find that to be their best album by far. Their album, Into the Wildlife, that released in 2015, was definitely subpar. A lot of stuff felt missing, and Into the Wildlife kind of lived up to its title. It just felt like them just going out, wandering in the desert, and there weren't many songs that were very memorable. In fact, the only one that I truly remembered upon revisiting their record was I Am the Fire. All of this leads up to their new release, and this time around I do feel like they're getting back to rocking a little bit more. There is more metal and hard rock tendencies found on this album, and once again I think that a lot of the lyrical content kind of revolves around relationships, love, lust, and just the journey of life. It's nothing that's breaking ground necessarily, but I do feel like it's a step up from the last album. Over the course of 12 songs and just over 40 minutes, the band navigates us through the waters of, yes, some harder rock songs, a little bit of metal injected here and there, but also acoustic tendencies on a few of these tracks like Conflicted, and also some more diverse elements that don't necessarily break up the band's traditional sound by any means. It just finds them maybe doing something a little bit new. And I think that from a lyrical point of view, I definitely have struggles with the record, but from a musical point of view, at least in places, I really do feel the effort is there and it paid off for them. As I was kind of already starting to say there, I do feel like one of the best things about this album is the musicianship. It's something where they open up on a very, very strong note with Black Vultures, and that's something that definitely rips, has a fantastic drum performance that really just takes them to the next level, especially once that chorus rolls around, but they also have moments that struggle in that department. There's songs that feel a little bit too similar to other tracks for me. In fact, I found some odd, striking similarities. It could be something as indifferent as, I don't know, I find Painkiller to sound a little bit like a Muse riff, and then you've got something as significant and kind of bold-faced as a track like Do Not Disturb. I feel like that honestly kind of rips off the track Take It Off by Kesha. And that's a very odd comparison to make. I'm very much aware of that, but seriously, you've got those lyrics and the vocal style. Da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. Just listen to the tracks side by side and you'll hear exactly what I'm talking about, because the chorus of Do Not Disturb, as much as I might like this track, it's pretty blatant. A very frustrating downfall for this record is seen in the lyrical department, and it really seems like Hale was struggling to come up with anything new. As I listened to Do Not Disturb and some of these other songs, even like Vicious or Conflicted, it seems like she's writing from the same point of view as even on their debut, and I don't feel like there's been enough progression. Even though some of these songs I do find to be enjoyable, they've got enough flair to keep it interesting for a couple of listens. This isn't material that I think you're going to be coming back to, say, even 6 months down the road. Diving into the track list here, we've got 12 songs, and I would say only probably about a fourth of those that truly jump off the page. I already highlighted Black Vultures, and I do feel like that's a very prominent, striking moment that needs to be heard. There are other moments that feel lively and do kind of give some sort of response from the listener, and from me in particular, Do Not Disturb is one of those, even though I do feel it is similar to that one Kesha song. And then there's others like Killing Ourselves to Live, which is probably only because of the vocal performance that I like that one, but still, even though it's a bit safe in terms of what it's putting out there lyrically, it's still fun to listen to. As I absorb these other songs, I just don't find like there's a ton to love in the track listing. There's a lot of comparisons to Love and Drugs once again, and rushes of dopamine and all this other stuff. And it just gets frustrating because there's a song called Buzz and it's talking about touches, electrifying, blah, blah, blah. The same old stuff we've heard from all these other bands time and time and time again. And then something like Vicious, which talks about kind of putting a spin on the what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that's kind of ironic because Kelly Clarkson had a song called What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger, and I think that Lizzie Hale sounds a lot like Clarkson on this track. Heart of Novocaine and Painkiller come back to back, and the latter of those gets particularly hard to listen to because it's aggressively pushing the notion of, oh, you know, this is like this, compare love to this, and it's the same old metaphors that are just getting recycled again and again by all of these bands. And even though this might be a little bit more okay from a vocal and musical approach and perspective, it's still not enough to save these songs to make them actually something that's worth coming back to. Uncomfortable is kind of a strange pop, hard rock, and metal crossover, which has a catchy enough chorus, but it works in kind of a weird quirk during the verses that doesn't exactly pay off for me, and I don't feel like the lyrical content here is exactly anything to write home about. In fact, her vocal approach on this one, and also the song right before that, Skulls, it's kind of something that I'd say I'm on the fence with because she almost delivers it in this fast-paced rap, rock, crossover type thing, and I can't say that I'm exactly a huge fan of that hybrid. As much as some of these songs do deserve praise, there's an unfortunate higher amount that just feel bland, bloated, forgettable, and just worthy of leaving in the dust. And I guess the final song that I want to touch on and mention is White Dress. It just unfortunately feels like something that somebody picked up, like a birthday present, like last second, bought on the way to the party, and they hand it to you, and you're like, oh, great, this generic thing. What am I gonna do with this? But thanks, I guess. The fourth album by Halestorm, although a slight step up from Into the Wildlife, is still very predictable and formulaic in many places. There's a few songs that definitely deserve your attention, deserve to get saved to your playlist, but other than that, this one is pretty much skippable, I would say. I'll put my favorites and least favorites in the description along with a link to stream the album so you can decide for yourself. Let me know your thoughts on the album in the comment section down below. Please drop a like on the review while you're here, and of course, as far as my rating for the album goes, I'm gonna go with a 3 out of 5. It'd be amazing if you'd be able to support the channel on Patreon by clicking the top link down below or else the annotation in the corner, donate on a monthly basis, and help the videos and reviews keep coming. If you want to see that podcast that I shouted out at the beginning, then tap here, or see my last Halestorm review right over here. All of my social medias can be found linked in the description down below, and other than that, I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.